Hello, in this video I'm going to show you 3 different ways of messaging within SystmOne. The first way is to send a task, and these are usually patient related, so you would need to be in the patient's record to send the task attached to that patient. And then I can click on the task button on the toolbar. If for any reason you don't have this button, you can go to workflow and the second option down is new task. This will open a new task window. At the top you have the option to apply a template. If your practice is using these, you can go and click on a preset template and that will populate your task for you. The next option is who you're going to send it to. So this will be your organisation, but if your patient is under the care of different organisations, you will be able to select from the drop down list the other organisations, and you would potentially be able to send a task to a member of that organisation. The options on the right are who the task is for within this organisation. So the top option is unassigned, which we don't recommend you use. The second one is user group. You can click on the drop down, see your different organisation user groups, and if you want to check who's in that group, you can click on the members button. The next option is staff member, so this will bring up a list of your staff members. And you can see if somebody is recorded as on leave, their name is in purple and it says currently on leave. The next option is me, so this will let you send a task to yourself. If you're replying to an existing task, you'll be able to click the sender option, and then the last one is multiple staff. Over on the left we've got this option to attach a file, so you can either click and drag it or you can click on here and it will open up a browser for you to go and search for the file. Underneath this we have the task type, so it's important to try and choose the relevant type so somebody can prioritise. And then over on the right we've got the subject. Because we're in a patient's record, it's linked it to that patient. Alternatively, you can change it just to no subject and it won't link it to a patient at all. Then we've got the body of the task, and this is where you would type your message. The row of buttons above it are just formatting buttons if you want to change the font or the size. We've also got some indent buttons, we've got a table button, a medication button, and you can also insert a hyperlink. Down at the bottom right we've got this presets button, so rather than having to type the same types of messages in all the time, you can set up presets. I've already set up some presets before, and I could just go and double click on the message that I want to insert into my message, and it just makes it a little bit easier. Down at the bottom we've got the status, which is not started, but obviously as the task is dealt with, these statuses will be changed. We can put a due date in. A handy tip for any date field in SystmOne is if you want it to be due in 1 week, you can type 1W and it will work out the date of 1 week, and that works for days, weeks, months or years. And then we also have this option here for a flag. These may or may not have been defined by your organisation, so you can see in this organisation we've got the red has been defined as urgent, but the yellow hasn't been defined, so it just depends if they've been set up or not. Once I've filled in all of the information in my task, I can go and click OK in the top left corner, and then I would need to remember to save the record as well. And when we go back to the home screen, I can see from my preview pane icon that there's 5 tasks for me, so I could either click on that, or also down at the bottom of the screen along the status bar I can see that I've got 5 tasks there. I could click on that to access them, and I've also created a button on my home screen, so I'm going to click on that and that will take me to the task screen. We have some filters down the left, so you can see halfway down there's the filters, and we've got for me and my groups and for only me, and a little bit further down you can also see tasks that were created by me. When I want to look at the task, I can go and click on it, and you can see I've got the details of the task along the top, so the type, who it's for, when the due date is, and so on, and in the bottom I've got the actual message of the task. If I need to retrieve the patient's record, I can just right click and I get the option to retrieve the patient. I could then go in, get the patient's telephone number and try calling them. If I've tried calling them and I haven't been able to get an answer, I might want to update the task, so I can click on there and update it, and in here I could put any message that I want to put in, and then I could also change the status to started. And I would click OK, and it's updated the task with the date, the time, my name and my comments. So if a colleague comes to deal with this task, they can see that I only called at 15:09, so they might leave it a little bit longer before trying again. If the patient phones back and I've dealt with the task, all I need to do is go to change status and I can mark it as completed without having to go into it any further. And once I click complete, that task has been completed and it will disappear out of this list. So if I just click refresh, and you can see that task has gone, but it is still there in the patient's record. So to show you where it's gone, I can go back into the patient's record and go to the administrative tree, and in here within the appointments, visits and tasks section, I've got tasks, and in here you can see there is the task, and you can see that it was completed by myself at 15:10 on the 6th of May. The other thing to bear in mind with tasks is that tasks aren't private. Anybody can read anybody else's tasks. On the filters on the left hand side, we've got these different filters, and we can expand them to see all open tasks or unassigned tasks, unassigned, assigned to groups, assigned to staff, or by status. So you can go and have a look at anybody else's tasks. The next way of messaging is notifications. To send a new notification, you can go to the user menu, and you've got the option in here for new notification. The first option is favourites, so if you have people that you send frequent messages to, you can configure the favourites. The next option is local user. These are the users within your organisation. We've then got user group, the same user groups as in tasks, and the last one is other user. This will let you send messages to any other SystmOne user at different organisations. If somebody is on leave, it will show you that, so you can see here that I'm on leave on this system until the 28th of May. The next option is to add an attachment. So if you wanted to add, for example, an agenda, you could click attach file, click on the yellow document folder, and you'd be able to find the file that you want to attach. The next option is to mark the notification as urgent, and then you can also ask for a receipt once the message has been actioned. We'll then type in the subject and the body. At the bottom you'll notice it says that the message will expire on the 5th of July. This is compulsory. You can extend it by 1 month, but you can't extend it beyond that. Once you've finished with your message, you can click OK, and you will see that I've received a message to say that I've got a new notification, so I can choose whether I want to view that or not. I will put no for now. If I then want to go to my notification inbox, we've also got that in user, and we've got the notifications, but I've also got a notify on my home screen. And you can see there's the notification that I received. So we've got the details along the top and the contents at the bottom. You'll notice there are some action buttons up at the top left. So we've got new notification, action, delete, print. But to get any other actions, you right click, and you can see in there you also have the option to reply and forward. If I wanted to reply, I can just click reply. It opens up the original message and I can type my reply in there. And if I want to delete it, I could just right click and delete, and that message has gone. The third way of messaging is instant messaging, and again this is in the user menu, and you can see we have messaging, but usually it will be somewhere on your toolbar as well. When you click on instant messaging, it will show you all of the people that are currently logged into the system. So we can see the user name, their role, when they were last logged in, and their location. On the far right we've got this column, and it's got some flags in it. So you can see the one with the patient head, it means that that user is in a consultation. The one with the padlock next to it means that that user is currently logged out. So just be aware of sending instant messages to people with either of these flags next to them, as it just means that they may have somebody else with them or they're not at their desk. You can send a message to more than one person. You can hold control down on your keyboard and select the 2 people or more that you want to send the message to. Or if you want to send a message to everybody within your practice, you can just click and drag to highlight everybody. Once you've chosen who you want to send the message to, you can just click send message, or you can double click. It will open up a new window for you to type your message. And you type the message in and click OK, and it will literally pop up straight away down in the bottom right corner, and you will get your message. You have the option to reply, postpone or dismiss. If you click dismiss, the message will be gone and you won't be able to retrieve it. If you click postpone, the message will disappear and it will pop up again in 10 minutes, but this is changeable within your user preferences. And if you click the option to reply, it will open up a reply. You can see the original message and you can type your response in there. Instant messages are auditable by anybody with the audit access rights, so they will be able to see what messages were sent, who by, and what they said. So just bear that in mind when you're sending any instant messages.